let's get back to the topic of who could possibly replace Jimmy, because I think that's what people want to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, people are mad at Jimmy and they're over Jimmy. So we've talked about
someone's saying Marcus Mariota, please, not Marcus.
No, what I wanted to ask you, so a lot of people have been saying
please.
Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is the name that's popping up the most. What do you think about Sam Darnold?
Darnold's super interesting, right? Because the physical tools, like, there's enough plays. There's always that one play from Sam Darnold every
Trubisky or Darnold? Who would you rather have?
I'd say Darnold.
Okay.
There's more wow plays with Darnold to me.
Okay.
There's one play every game with Darnold where you go, wow. Now, there's also 5 plays that conveniently get blamed on Adam Gase or the receivers or somebody where they're just terrible. There are 5 plays like that.
I think I'd rather have Trubisky.
Okay,
I think he's a better athlete. I think he runs better.
Fair.
I think he runs better. I don't know. But I mean, that's it. I mean, Trubisky needs a therapist. Like, Trubisky needs a guy like Harbaugh to be like, you're good. And even that might not be enough. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he's been broken. So
he has.
So, yeah.
So going back to Darnold.
Yeah.
So there are enough plays that make you go, wow. My thing with Darnold, though, is this is not a system where you can just get a young quarterback who's been through a pretty tragic situation with the Jets and just bring him over here and start him immediately, and he'll be comfortable with this system. I think Darnold might need 1 year where you sit him, you get his confidence back, especially if the way things are going with the Jets continues. You make sure he's not taking hits. You let him learn the system. So I think a place like Pittsburgh with an aging quarterback that can take a chance on him, that would be better off for him. Because throwing him into the fire here in San Francisco,
how does that help him?
Yeah, it'll be just as tough for him.
I like Trubisky, but that guy needs like some one hell of a coach.
Right.
Like, you would need like the ultimate quarterback whisperer, because
he to me, I don't know. I've only seen him a lot in the NFL, and obviously I live around Chicago, so
right. You would know better. Yeah.
Right. So he's on TV every game for me. I just don't think he's ever had that confidence, that self-confidence that you need to be a great player in the NFL.
That's fair. I mean, the guy only started 1 year in college. I mean, he had a good year at North Carolina, but he didn't have like a Baker Mayfield career. Yeah, it's fair. It seemed like he just had a very fragile confidence, and having Deshaun Watson and Mahomes blow up was just too much. You know, that'll hang over in the rest. But that's why I compare him to Alex Smith.
He trapped himself over them.
That's why I compare him to Alex Smith. Like, he can run. He got drafted by a bad organization. He had this thing about Aaron Rodgers hanging over him. I don't know if he'll be able to turn his career around the way Alex Smith did, but Smith owes something to Harbaugh. I wonder if what's that?
Alex Smith
was very smart. Is Trubisky not? I don't know.
I don't know if he's not smart, but
he's not like that.
From all accounts, Alex Smith's intellect is like genius.
Off the charts. Yeah, he's like, and his ability to sort of go through coverages and stuff before this, not coverages, but like read a defense for the snap is almost Peyton Manning level.
Yeah.
So
he graduated college at 20. I know how hard that is.
Yeah, that's impossible. I couldn't have done that. No.
Someone asked about my guy, Matthew Stafford. So let's talk.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
So look, Matthew Stafford.
Also, I want you to explain your pattern and theory that you've seen with these pocket quarterbacks, from Darnold to Haskins recently. But start with Stafford.
I think he's a guy that gets too much flack, whether it's from media or fans in general. Mm-hmm. Look, the guy is one of the most physically gifted quarterbacks that I've ever seen in my lifetime. The arm is ridiculous. He's athletic. Like, all these sidearm throws and off-platform throws that have become very popular today, Matthew Stafford was doing in 2011. People were calling that unconventional and not by-the-book quarterback play, you know? And now it's the new thing in town. If you can't throw off platform, then you're screwed.
Yes.
Like, you'll be like Nick Mullins versus the Eagles.
Yes.
Right. So
you need an increased level of athleticism across the board in quarterback.
The only question mark for me with Matthew Stafford is the injuries. The guy, to me, he had Calvin Johnson, and he's had some decent weapons there. Like, Galladay is pretty good. Marvin Jones is okay. They had a span with Brandon Pettigrew, who was fine, all of that. But the offensive line play in Detroit has not been good his entire career. He's always taken a lot of hits. The play calling has been very mediocre. I mean, put him with Kyle.
Honestly, he fits the Shanahan profile perfectly.
Put
a
him
really
with
good
Kyle.
quarterback who's
Easy
been asked
to
to do too much and given nothing.
My bad. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. No, I'm like, he is the Shanahan quarterback. I mean, it's kind of like, weak organization, no defense, no running game, some weapons, but it's like, hey, drop back 50 times and wins, Matt. It's
right.
Well, okay. Yeah.
Right. And drop back, and you have to throw 40-yard lasers down the field every other play.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's going to make a couple of bad decisions, because if he doesn't throw the ball 40 times and they're not all big-time throws, they're losing by 40.
Right.
Put him with Kyle, and his job will be a lot easier, and I think he'll be a lot better. And then
give him that run game, give him that play-action game. Yeah.
Right. And the other thing with Matthew Stafford is, look, the Lions, they've sucked my entire lifetime. He was drafted to an 0-16 Lions. Besides a few years with Jim Caldwell, which now look like Super Bowl years with the way Matt Patricia has done and all of that, they've just been perpetually pathetic. They're a horrible franchise. I mean, they've not given Matthew Stafford much support or much around him. I think you put him on a team like the 49ers and you give him a chance to play with a guy like Kyle, I think you can change his career.
Yeah, and the thing is, it seems like it's somewhat not realistic, but possible, because, again, Patricia's probably going to get fired. That team could be in a position to draft a quarterback. You bring in a new coach who might want his own guy who's 21 instead of 32. It could make sense, right?
Yeah, right.
It could make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's two comments coming in. One guy said Matthew Stafford wasn't doing nothing with Calvin Johnson. Well, it was just him and Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point. Just like in Atlanta, where it was just Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. And what does Kyle do? He brings everything else.
Right.
The whole thing.
Right. Well, Matt Ryan's not doing anything with Julio Jones. Well, that's not Matt Ryan's fault.
No, you need a full team. You need a whole complement.
Unless you're Russell Wilson. And even Russell Wilson's got a super freak with him now.
And they have a run game. They make a point of having a run game. It's important to them.
Right.
And
then before we go to the next topic, someone just asked, why don't we get someone more mobile like RG3? The guy doesn't have to be a runner per se. He doesn't have to be the super freak like Kyler Murray. He just has to be able to move and ad lib and have a read option threat and be able to throw off platform. And Matthew Stafford, in my opinion, brings all those things. Now, the other example, the guy with the giant cap hit that people have suggested is Matt Ryan. He doesn't have that type of mobility. So maybe he wouldn't be an option, but I don't think his contract would allow him to be an option anyway.
No. Justin Herbert's a good example. With Justin Herbert, which is interesting that he ended up being the third pick in the draft, because to me, that's the product. What's that? The third quarterback in the draft. Yeah, I mean, he dropped to 7, 8, 6.
And everybody ripped the Chargers for taking him.
To me, he should have been the first pick in the draft. And to me, in the future, if you're looking for quarterbacks with that skill set, I mean, nothing against Burrow and Tua. I'm looking for the guy who has that kind of athleticism, and I'm not weighing their experience in the SEC as highly.
He's a stud, but I'd stick to Joe Burrow. I love
Fair enough. I could be wrong on that one. I'm just saying how I'm thinking about quarterbacks right now. I want Carson Wentz, Josh Allen, Josh Herbert, Justin Herbert, not Josh. Josh Herbert, I would not draft.
Let me ask you this, Grant. Who do you think the Niners take in the 2018 draft in the case that they didn't get Jimmy and they had to pick a quarterback?
They would have taken Josh Allen.
You think they would have taken Josh Allen?
I do. I know we talked about this before. We both talked about Lamar Jackson, and I know he fits more with the short passing game that they've adopted because of Jimmy. But as you said, Shanahan wants to call shots, and I think Allen has more of the arm for that than Lamar Jackson. Although maybe I'm wrong with that. Maybe Lamar is actually a little bit more accurate deep than I just think of Josh Allen in that huge arm and the ability to throw on the run.
So I think it would have been Darnold. I do think it would be Darnold.
Dang. Well, Chris Sims wouldn't have liked that pick.
No, and I do think there might have been a little love for Rosen too, because if you forget how their careers have turned out so far. When they were coming out of the draft, Rosen was kind of the prototype for this particular offense. Great motion,
and the film grinders loved him. The PFF guys loved him.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's his best route? The deep post is the best route he used to throw was the deep post. So he had a good deep ball. He's a really good thrower. So maybe, but listening to the way Shanahan talked about Darnold before the Jets game, I think it would have been Darnold.
Fair enough. Because again, Shanahan doesn't seem to care about mobility at all. he seems to be a little bit like stuck in the past, like 5 years ago. And so from his perspective, yeah, maybe Darnold is exactly what he wants. Just athletic enough to get out on the edge and throw.
I mean, Darnold's a lot more athletic than Jimmy, CJ, or Nick.
That's true. I mean, that
He's
touchdown throw he had.
Freak.
Yeah, that touchdown throw he had rolling to his left at the end of the Niner game was something that Jimmy doesn't do. That was nice.
I've not seen – maybe Colin Kaepernick is the only quarterback I've seen make a throw that ridiculous. Like the Anquan Bolden rainbow jump pass rolling to his left that Saint against the Rams.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was one of the best throws I've ever seen.
So what you're saying is Darnold is a possibility. He's a possibility.
I think that maybe.
All right, well.
Look. Well, again, it comes – if they don't have a rebuilding team, why would you get a rebuilding quarterback?
Yeah,
that's the confusing part. So it's super interesting on where they move and how they're going to.
If they get Darnold, is he better than Goff?
I don't know.
I don't think much of Goff. I mean, Goff has a good arm.
Goff is like the easiest target because his rookie season was so pathetic. He's not really an impressive human being.
Not a great athlete.
Because Sean McVay, by all accounts, tells him who to throw the football to at the line of scrimmage. But I'll give you one positive about Goff that I don't think people talk about enough. He throws a great deep ball.
He does. When he has time to throw, he
can sling it. I mean, did we just forget the 2018 Minnesota game? How many big-time throws were in that game?
Baseball player.
Mm-hmm. Goff is a good thrower.
Easy. Yeah, he's great thrower. He's just when you get bodies around him,
Yeah, and he's just not athletic enough.
Right, and that's my problem. So I guess Darnold would be more athletic than him.
Yeah, but Goff is strung together. Last year was a bad year, but
he's playing well now.
A pretty good second year, a very good third year, and now in his fifth year, he's also having another good year.
That's the thing. Like Niners analysts and fans, like really look down our noses at the Rams, like Jared Goff, like Sean McVay, but like they've actually had a level of consistency that has escaped the 49ers. I mean, last year was a down year. They went 9-7. I mean, the Niners could use a down year like that. I mean, this is a down year that could be 4-12. That's
right. Yeah. They also rip the other guy in the Bay, and I don't think he's as bad as everybody says.
Who?
Derek Carr. He's all right.
He's not in the Bay anymore. He's out of here, buddy.
Oh,
he's Vegas.
Yeah, they're in Vegas now, right? But he's all right to me. He's not.
He's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the leg injury really hurt him. I think he lost his confidence there. Yes. But
I think there's a lot of carryover between him and Jimmy, man. A lot.
Yeah, but he's more talented physically than Jimmy.
Yep. But the carryover would be got hurt, lost a little confidence, and they have coaches who can be brutal.
Yeah, Derek Carr has a one-season sample size of playing at an MVP level. I'm still waiting for that from a 49ers quarterback.
Oh, Vish with the perspective.
I like this one. If Bosa had gone, would Kyle have debated taking Kyler?
Oh, yeah. We were just talking about this on the phone earlier.
Yeah.
This is the last one. What do you think?
I'm going to say no.
He wouldn't have taken Kyler.
They said in their 2018 draft that their quarterback room was real strong. Yeah. They had two very solid number 3 quarterbacks and a guy who's, I guess, an okay starting quarterback. Starting quarterback. So, yeah, it was a strong room of 3 very, very guys who play when they play their best football are okay.
I can't think of a quarterback that Shanahan would want less than Kyler Murray. He seems like the opposite of what he looks for. His size is an issue if you're going to put him under center all game. I mean, it's not an issue in the gun. It is an issue under center. And the fact that he's an ad-libber and by nature is like what Shanahan is looking to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he would have taken Kyler Murray. If Bosa had gone first, the Niners would have taken Josh Allen. Yeah. And I like Josh Allen.
Murray, look, Kyler Murray is so physically gifted, right? But there's also a part of letting Kyler Murray be Kyler Murray, right?
Right.
Like Andy Reid lets Patrick Mahomes be Patrick Mahomes. Like there's times when maybe Patrick Mahomes missed the guy on the read and he got out of the pocket too soon and all of that. But then he throws like a 65-yard deep ball on a rope to Tyreek Hill, and you're okay with that if you're the coach. Well, we don't know if Kyle will. We don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
going to say he is or he would or wouldn't let Kyler Murray not be Kyler Murray, but we don't know that.
You won't let Jimmy be.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Kyle, you got to play the position how he wants it played, and that's what he likes about Kirk is willing to follow instructions.
Right.
What do they call it? Staying on schedule. That's how Shanahan. That's his phrase. I want people who stay on schedule. Okay. All right.
He wants a guy who's going to execute his offense, and Kirk Cousins can execute an offense pretty perfectly. But even if he's executing an offense perfectly, he's still, again, we touched it. At his best, he's like the 8th or 9th or 10th best quarterback in the NFL.
Shanahan has to do one of two things. He needs to either get a mobile quarterback or get way better offensive linemen. One of the two.
Where are you going to get better offensive line play?
I mean,
who's looking good in the NFL as an offensive line? What I would say
is that the Saints have made a point of emphasis of drafting an offensive lineman in the first round every year for the last 4 or 5. They would have to go from taking a defensive tackle and D end every year to really taking an offensive lineman. Guards in the first round, centers in the first round. That's what you have to do. Otherwise, you need a quarterback who can move.
Yeah, real quick. I liked what someone put in the comment section. They said, I swear if he goes after Kirk again, I'm going to low-key want Kyle gone. I'm going to have to agree with that because, Kirk Cousins, because of his personality, is just one of my least favorite, players in the NFL. I wish he would be more confident and more outwardly brash or at least carry himself. Look at Dak Prescott. You like that guy just because of the way he carries himself. He's tough. He's durable. He's a great leader. He always says the right things. Kirk Cousins is publicly 4 games into the season of apologizing to Adam Thielen. I would not want that as my quarterback. That's rough. That's depressing.
It's depressing. That's a coach's quarterback, not a player's quarterback.
Right. And when he's apologizing to Adam Thielen publicly, then you think, oh, we can't win a Super Bowl with this guy.
No, agree. So Kyle, you're listening. Don't go after Kirk when you make your big move next year.
Just hit up Grant. He'll tell you who to go after, and then do.
You owe me a nickel. That's my rate.